Bonjour mes amis, j'espère que tout le va bien. Today I wish to speak to you of sensuality. So I'm reading this book about halfway through called Food for Thought by Francis Foucachon. He is a chef, and he's written this book about food and food as a Christian, what food means. I'm going to do a review of this book in total, but I'm going to hit some topics. I was kind of planning on doing some topics after I reviewed the book, but I wanted to actually mention this one now. And I'm not so much going to talk about his perspective so much as in reading this book on this topic, I now want to talk about it. So I said sensuality, but more specifically, I mean enjoying things through the senses, and even more specifically than that, I mean enjoying the sense of touch. So there's a section in this book where he talks about all 5 of the traditional senses, which are sight, smell, taste, hearing, and touch, and how they affect our enjoyment of our food. So I had been drinking coffee out of a travel mug because I just got back home, but I went to the pantry, to the cupboard, and grabbed this mug and poured my coffee out of the travel mug into this mug so that I would be well equipped to talk to you about the subject. So, in the sense of touch part of things, Mr. Foucachon talks about styrofoam plates and styrofoam cups. Quel horror. What a horror. And I gotta say, I stand with him. So you've been to picnics, where, you get some, and here in the South, it's all about pulled pork, which is sad for me, but there it is. Maybe you get whatever it is, your pulled pork, your ribs, whatever delicious meat you have, plop onto a styrofoam plate. Just the awfulest. First of all, if I am at a place like this, I refuse to only have 1 styrofoam plate. 2 is a minimum. And if you need 2 plates, that plate is made of the wrong material. When you have that little plastic knife and you cut through your food and it cuts into the styrofoam plate and makes that awful squeak, and you're afraid the juices are going to run through the plate because you've cut through it. And awful. And then styrofoam cups. I mean, just the way they feel. A cup you actually put to your mouth, and so you're if you're eating food off of a styrofoam plate, you have to touch it, obviously, but it's not actually part of that final act of eating as you put it in your mouth and masticate and savor. But man, the styrofoam cup. You've got your coffee or your hot chocolate or your Kool-Aid or whatever, and you put it to your lips, and your mouth is actually touching styrofoam. I can't handle that. So I'm going to sip some more coffee out of this handmade mug a friend gave me. There's like a hierarchy of materials when it comes to eating and drinking. Like the travel mug I was using to drink my coffee has vulcanized rubber lips. And that actually feels relatively, there's like a little give to that. But then other mugs you drink and you're putting metal to your mouth or hard plastic. I will tell you what one of the greatest disputes in my marriage is right now. So my wife, Kimberly, obviously, feeds the kids more often than I, although I do work a lot from home and I am often home. And I'm often cooking and feeding the kids. nonetheless, she also definitely orchestrates chores, and so the kids do the dishes. But she has a set of plastic plates, but like permanent plastic plates, so they're hard and thick, very, very light. And this is the point to which the sense of touch affects how I eat. I can't handle how light the plates are. It feels fake. It feels like I'm not about to eat because they're so light. But then they're hard as well, and hard in the wrong way. It's like hard in a hollow sort of way. There are different kinds of plastic plates out there, including permanent plastic plates. But she insists on keeping these. Like, my only option right now to get rid of these, besides, I'll admit to a snarky comment bordering on a nag occasionally, but my only option at this point, because she insists on keeping them, is to throw them out. But I just can't handle them, and I can't handle the idea that my kids eat off of them. They don't show up when I'm around, right? So if I'm here for the meal, those plates do not get put on the table. So my kids get to eat off of real plates when I'm around. But even when if I'm cooking and I start setting the table, or I call one of the kids and I'm going to get the plates down for them, those plastic plates are usually like on the top of the stack of plates because they've been used most recently. And I have to touch them, and it just, I know that you're probably completely unsympathetic with me right now. But, things that involve the senses are very visceral. So I have a very strong reaction to these things. I am literally disgusted by styrofoam cups. So when I read this thing in Foucachon's book, Food for Thought, it resonated very deeply with me. Surely you had this experience where you put a mug, any old mug, doesn't have to be this beautiful thing crafted by a fine artist. Just a good old ceramic mug, regular old mug. When that touches your lips, like this thing. Look at this. Mass-produced for Starbucks. But it's ceramic. That feels so much better, doesn't it? And some of it, of course, is custom. You're used to it. But it's good earth. It's stone. You are putting stone to your mouth. Sure, it's processed stone, but it's stone ultimately. This is why glass also feels good, I believe. So, surely you've noticed a difference. That sort of stuff feels better, and it's more than just custom than putting plastic or, God forbid, styrofoam to your lips. Or as a pipe smoker, this I know will resonate with the majority of my audience. Lucite stems, right? Lucite stems look beautiful and do not oxidize, so they have a place in our world as pipe smokers. But then when you put them to your lips and you bite down to clench that stem and dink, it's not a great feeling, is it? Lucite stems are not in the same order as styrofoam cups at all. Like I said, there's truly a place for them. But we all notice that. We all talk about that, right? It just doesn't feel as good in the mouth. And that kind of thing is important. It's an important part of enjoying whatever it is you're doing. And it's an important part of eating, how things feel. So I guess death to styrofoam cups is the call to action in this video. Like I said, I'll be doing a full-on review of this book, Food for Thought, Foucachon, Francis Foucachon. But for now, let me know how much of a snot I'm being, how much this resonates with you. The sensual, tactile nature of enjoyment. All right, y'all. Peace be upon you.